I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and the conversation kind of went toward, and actually we dealt with and talked about a few minutes about suicide. And I began to think about that. I began to think about the people that were affected by that in much more ways than anyone even realizes. And then I was thinking about suicide and the aftermath of a suicide bomber. I remember I was watching a series back some time ago called The Blacklist, and the main character in that, his name was Raymond Reddington. And he was doing a dialogue about this very thing. He was talking about the aftermath of a suicide bomber. And in this part he was playing, he said, "Have you ever seen the aftermath of a suicide bombing?" And of course, he immediately answered his own question. He said, "I have." He said, "June the 29th, 2003. He said, "I was meeting two associates at the Marouche restaurant in Tel Aviv. And he said, as my car was pulling up, he said there was a 20-year-old Palestinian named Ghazi Safar who entered the restaurant and detonated a vest that was wired with C4. He said the shockwave was so bad, he said it blew me, he said it just blew out my eardrums. He said I couldn't hear, it just knocked me flat. He said the smoke, he said it was everywhere. He said I felt like I was underwater. He said after I gathered myself together, he said I went inside and it was a nightmare. He said blood, parts of people. But he made a statement here. He said you could tell where Safar was standing when the vest blew because it was a perfect circle of death. He said there was almost nothing left of the people that were closest to him." Now that statement right there stuck to me. There was almost nothing left of the people that were closest to him. Wow. 17 dead, 46 injured, said they were blown to pieces. The closer they were to the bomber, the more horrific the effect. But that's every suicide, isn't it? I really think it is. Every suicide is an act of terror that's perpetrated against everyone who's ever known you, everyone who's ever loved you, people that's been closest to you. The ones who cherish you, the ones who, well, they're the ones who suffer the most pain, aren't they? The most damage. But why would we do that? Why would we allow that to happen to where we would do that to someone who loves us and that we love most? And many times when people are in that condition, it's like they can't process that. And they almost many times think that there's no choice left for them but to do that. But I want to say this right now. There's always a choice. Now you may not feel like it. You may be going through things that no one can understand but you. You feel like there's no choice, but I am telling you that there is a choice. The thoughts of suicide can happen to anyone. But the effects always go much deeper than anyone could ever understand or ever know. And if there's somebody in your family that's going through something like that, I'm just telling you, don't you hesitate to reach out to them. If they're in pain, you reach out to them. Or maybe you've had thoughts of taking your own life. Maybe you've had thoughts of hurting yourself. Don't hesitate to ask for help. You're never alone in your suffering. And I just want to say this, if that's you, reach out to a friend. Tell them what you're going through, and then ask for help.